It comes with all the essentials that one would need in case of an earthquake, including a first aid kit, water, and what kit wouldn't be complete without duct tape. He stepped outside, and that's when he saw a suspect tagging this dumpster. He tried to stop him, but lost his life. One of the ideas being talked about is bringing the paper back, but in an online version. The people here at the El Toro branch say that the money will be used to help staff the library and for minor renovations. In Lake Forest, I'm Alan Carter for Valley View News.
He was pretty much gone in my arms. I knew it.
For Tommy T-Top Rivers, it's still hard to believe. His best friend, Ronald Barron, gunned down doing what he loved best, trying to stop gang activity.
And before I got outside, I heard a gunshot. And when I opened the door, I seen him fall in the street. And he tried to get up. And I heard him say, like, it ain't nothing. He fell back to the ground.
A twist of fate, Barron used to be a gang member himself, until rededicating his life to cleaning up the streets after time spent in Chino State Prison. Barron and Rivers became two of LA's most recognizable faces in gang intervention, working with Mayor I Can and speaking to young children about the perils of gang life. Ronald Barron was shot to death on Super Bowl Sunday. He was at a local bar hanging out with some old friends. He stepped outside, and that's when he saw a suspect tagging this dumpster. He tried to stop him, but lost his life. Witnesses said the suspect calmly walked off after the shooting. 36 hours later, LAPD arrested a 16-year-old boy for the murder.
We got surveillance video from a local business where the murder was captured on tape. We shared that information with Los Angeles Police Unified School District, and they were able to help us out identifying our suspect.
Even though the suspect allegedly took the life of his best friend, Rivers has compassion for the juvenile.
He didn't have the tools to know his value, to know his place, to know his purpose. He had no other higher goals or aspirations but to write on walls and carry a gun.
And it's a testament to their work in the streets.
He wasn't shot back at. He didn't die out there either. 10, 15 years ago when we was out there like that, he wouldn't have made it off the block. It's just a testimony to our work. Dudes wasn't carrying guns no more because we knew if we do that, it's just another mother and father crying loss. Same pain that we feel.
In Los Angeles, Alan Carter for Valley View News. The city of Los Angeles can't seem to catch a break. Well, unless it's a water main break. This one on Topanga Canyon Boulevard in Canoga Park makes over 30 for this month, an unusually high number for this time of year. In past Septembers, the number of water main breaks has been somewhere in the teens for the entire month. Now the DWP is scrambling to figure out what's with all the broken pipes. But one expert thinks he may have an idea.
The lawn watering is something that you're going from, low flow or lower flow on certain days of the week, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays you get much higher.
He says one of the reasons behind the water main breaks could be the city's new water rationing policy, which only allows people to use their sprinklers 2 days a week. The sudden changes in pressure could be adding stress on the city's already old pipe system.
If you envision that, suddenly you've just turned on, 1,500 or 2,000 sprinklers, the flow is going to increase quite a bit. If that's hitting joints that are already weakened because the pipe is old, maybe that's enough to just put it over the edge.
A spokeswoman for the DWP said over the phone that the organization is not prepared to make public comments regarding the breaks. She did say, however, that the DWP has taken the situation very seriously and has hired several outside investigators to look into the matter. Until those investigations are complete, the DWP will not speculate into what's behind the breaks. She did say, however, that she doubts it's due to water rationing. Even Little will say that the water rationing may not be the main culprit. In fact, that speculation may only be a pipe dream. But he says it's one of the many things that the city needs to investigate.
In the last few months, we've had this anomalous number of breaks. Is that the cause? Hard to say, but that's a change.
In Los Angeles, Alan Carter for Valley View News. When the city of Lake Forest announced that cutbacks would mean less money for libraries, they turned to donations to help bring in some extra cash. But for the El Toro branch, a sizable donation came from a most unusual source. The 215 Agenda, a marijuana dispensary known for selling pot, but decided to help out their local library with a different type of green, $1,500.
we decided, okay, well, every patient that comes in, if they donate a dollar to the library, then, it could really help out the library.
Marilyn Dalen works at the Friends of the El Toro Library and collected the check. She says she didn't know the money was coming from a marijuana clinic until after the money was donated.
I'm used to seeing like 100 here and there come through. I don't remember in my time here that anything has been quite that large.
And
that's why I was wowed. That's a lot of money.
But some wonder whether the money was donated with the purest of intentions. The clinic is being targeted by the city for closure, and last November, the dispensary was raided by the Orange County Sheriff's Department. And even though the clinic is going through political struggles with the city, workers say they aren't just blowing smoke and plan to make more donations.
Anything that we can do to help, we're going to do it because we want to be a part of this community.
But Dalen says in a time when people take libraries for granted and aren't too quick to donate, when a $1,500 check came through the door, it was a big help.
So it wasn't coming from one person, which I thought was really a neat thing that so many people were involved in making that check that big.
Like many places in California, the city of Lake Forest is going through financial troubles. Some library branches have even been forced to close. The people here at the El Toro branch say that the money will be used to help staff the library and for minor renovations. In Lake Forest, I'm Alan Carter for Valley View News. At first glance, CSU Dominguez Hills is just like any other Cal State university, with students, classrooms, and athletics. But the school does have one distinction that sets it apart. It is now without a student newspaper.
We canceled the class, which at the time I think had 5 or 6 students enrolled in it, and went ahead and canceled the paper at least for this semester.
Wetmore says the Bulletin, the school's twice-monthly newspaper, had to be shut down to save money. He says the paper wasn't getting any money from the school and had been funded through the president's office.
So we didn't have the money to pay for salaries, to pay for the printing. So it wasn't even a question of, can you just go online? You need someone to teach the class, to teach the students how to write for a newspaper, and they didn't even have the money for that.
But now it's the students who suffer. Michael Marquez wanted to take the class and write for the Bulletin.
If for no other reason, just being practiced, being sharpened, to have my writing chops up all the time. It's kind of hard to do that on my own, but without assignments, without a medium to be published in, it's really kind of worthless.
And he says not only does it hurt him, but also the other students will miss out on campus information.
Now, not to have a newspaper kind of leaves everyone in the dark. So that means if you weren't there, you don't know anything about it. You just hear third hand, but other than that, you have no hard news about what's going on here.
The Dominguez Hills Bulletin was last published on May 13th. This semester's cancellation brings an end to an over 30-year history of the paper here at the school, at least for now. One of the ideas being talked about is bringing the paper back, but in an online version. At Cal State Dominguez Hills in Carson, I'm Alan Carter for Valley View News. Here at home in LA, Haiti's suffering may serve as a wake-up call for things to come. Earthquake experts say a major quake in Los Angeles is only a matter of time.
The forecast is that, yes, there will be damaging earthquakes in Southern California. It's not a question of if, but when.
And it could be an even larger earthquake than the magnitude 6.7 quake that struck Northridge in 1994. That quake killed 57 people and caused 9,000 injuries. A report released 2 years ago by the Southern California Earthquake Center says the state has a 99.7% chance of having a quake equal or larger than the Northridge quake in the next 30 years. But while the big one may be inevitable, mass catastrophe is not. Jeff Edelstein is the owner of SOS Survival Products in Van Nuys. He says surviving an earthquake is all about preparation.
3 days, 7 days, 3 weeks, a month, even up to 2-3 months. Have enough water and food and emergency supplies to sustain yourselves or your family.
Edelstein's store carries a variety of supplies that people can stock up on in case of emergency. Food, tubs for liquid, flashlights, toilets, and even some of the sweeter things in life. Everything a person would need to create a survival stockpile or just a small emergency kit in case of a natural disaster. For those that don't want to put together their own bag, they can purchase an emergency survival kit. It comes with all the essentials that one would need in case of an earthquake, including a first aid kit, water, and what kit wouldn't be complete without duct tape. The problem is that people don't take the time to get prepared until a major event happens like the one in Haiti, or until it's too late.
Unfortunately, it takes an event to get people thinking about preparedness. Yeah, local disasters, the Northridge quake, people's houses were destroyed. Oh, maybe now I should get prepared.
Experts say that while a major earthquake in Southern California may not be as devastating as what happened in Haiti, there will still likely be casualties and major disruptions.
If you ask anyone who lived in Northridge, California in 1994, they'll tell you it took several months for them to get back to normal.
In Van Nuys, Alan Carter for Valley View News.